Struggling with eyeshadow? Let me show you how to slay every look with ease. So first things first, after you've done your brows, you're going to either take an eyeshadow primer or you're going to take some concealer that is brighter than your skin tone. That way when you put that eyeshadow on, it shows up, that pigment does not get lost. And you're going to put it all over your lid, and you do not have to be super neat about this. The whole point is to cover that lid. And then you're going to take a brush and you're going to blend it out so that way you have a nice smooth base for when it's time for you to lay your eyeshadow down. Then after we've blended this out, you're going to go in with some tape. I love this method because, for one, if you don't know how to do eyeshadow, it makes the neatest, sharpest eyeshadow, and it just makes doing your eyeshadow so much easier whenever you're doing a look. Okay, so grab some tape. I promise you it'll help you. I'm going to go into the ColourPop Cosmetics Cloud 9 eyeshadow palette. I thought it was really pretty for these winter months. It has some cool tones in here that I really wanted to try. So typically your first shade, which is also known as your transition shade, is going to be the lightest shade that you use. So whether that's a yellow, a baby pink, whatever color, as long as it's the brightest, lightest shade, that's going to be your transition. And you're going to put that above your crease. Now for this specific look, I just put it on the outer corners and I put it about halfway on my lid. And you're going to pack on as much of that pigment as you want to get the intensity that you want from this color. But if you are putting this on your lid, like I said, have a nice fluffy brush so that way you can disperse that color outwards, and you're going to put it above the crease of your eye, above your fold. So if you're opening your eyes and you see like a line between where your brow bone is and your eye, that's your crease, and you want to put this shade above that. And after you've laid that color on there, you're going to go into your second shade, which is your crease shade. Now this shade is typically darker than your transition shade, and you want to focus this one in your crease. So you can either take a clean brush or the same brush that you just used, but the goal here now is layering. So once you put your crease shade on, you don't want to cover up your transition shade, but you want to blend it into it. So you can lightly start feathering it, which I do recommend using a clean brush, into your crease, but staying away from that transition shade. So because you're already packing it into your crease, it's going to naturally start flowing into that transition shade, which is exactly what we want. But the focus here is to disperse it outwards on the lid and have it primarily in your crease. And once again, you're going to pack on as much of that color as you want until you get the intensity that you want as well. Also, just to note, whenever you're doing your eyeshadow, take your time. With anything with makeup, honestly, take your time, but with eyeshadow, it takes time. So blend, because blending is key for a look to come out flawless, especially with eyeshadow. So once you've done this, you're going to take another shade, which will just be your third shade, and that shade is typically your darkest shade. Now this shade is used for definition, and you're going to focus that in your crease again, but more so also onto your lid. So this shade is really meant to just define the crease shade that you just used while adding some more definition to the look. And quite literally, if you were to look straight ahead into a mirror and see where your crease is, literally pack it on in there. And then what I recommend doing is cleaning off that same brush you just used for your third shade and using that to blend it out into your crease. So if you're taking that mirror and looking straight ahead, not looking down, because looking down will pull your lid down, and not looking up because that's just an odd position to use. So look straight ahead where your crease is, and with that clean brush, just start blending it solely into your crease. And you can slightly start putting it on the outer corner of your lid if you want that nice flowy transition. And mind you, this tape is here to help you, so don't worry about it getting on the tape, because once you peel it off, it's going to be like just pure satisfaction. You're just going to be like, oh, this just eats. And you'll see why I call it the cheat code method with tape too. Tape is literally the go-to with it. So once you got the intensity yet again that you want, you can move on to whatever shade you want to do next. What I'm doing here specifically for this look is I really wanted the outer corners of my eyes to be really, really dark, so I went in with some more black. But now I'm going to go into a shimmer shade. So what I like about your lid shade specifically is that you can use whatever color you want to, as long as it's not darker than your third shade or your deepest shade, or I should say your definition shade, because you want that nice flowy transition. And luckily with most shimmer shades, they're typically brighter anyway, but Once again, on my channel, what I like to tell people is do what you love to do. If you want to go in with a deep opal black, then you do that. But here, what I like to do is I like to use a shade that's lighter than my deepest shade, just because it gives the nice gradient effect that I'm looking for. And then also another tip, if you're going to use a shimmer shade, spray your brush with a setting spray, because it helps pick it up, and then it helps really like just lay it down on the lid when it comes time. Then for the inner corner of my eye, I'm going to just use a white, just because I really wanted that pop of brightness right there. This look is oddly frosty, but not frosty. It's like a nighttime frosty glam, if that makes sense. But on the inner corners of your eye, you can use whatever colors you want to use, no biggie. But you're going to focus that on the inner corner, and quite literally, you're literally just covering up the base you set with that concealer or that primer. So if you're stuck on where to place it, cover up that concealer. Now I'm going to go in with the black liquid liner. Just, you don't have to do this, but I wanted to do it for this look. And honestly, if you keep the tape on, if you're not good at doing wings, this is another sure way to get a good wing liner. I swear, once you take it off, you're going to be like, doing a wing is mad easy as long as you have tape. And what I do to this eye, obviously I'm going to do to the other. But another thing I'm going to do, because my camera did die on me, I'm gonna take that same black that I use, because whenever I do a black liner, I do like to make sure it's infused with my deepest shade, just to make a beautiful gradient transition. Also, I really just love a dark matte wing liner, and that is how you do some eyeshadow, girly. Now, don't leave off of my channel just yet. Be sure to go check out my full glam tutorial on how to highlight, contour, and do your blush for your specific face shape. You are definitely going to love it. Do not miss out on that. Do not click off. But thank you so much for tuning into this video. If this video helped, give it a thumbs up. Let's get this video to 800 views, 70 likes, and be sure to subscribe to my channel. And I cannot wait to see you on my next video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.